Hello guys, once again. Um, cool, cool. So we're gonna talk about simple and compound interest, depreciation. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about simple depreciation and the compound depreciation, right? So okay, there. Say you have a car, your friend is debating. Okay, cool. So basically, I'm just forget about that scenario. We're just talking about simple depreciation and compound depreciation. So on the first video, I did say that simple interest usually, like if we invest some cash and the investment is offering us a simple interest of 10%, we know that we will get the constant amount of money each year, right? So we made an example. We had 1000 rand, and 10% of 1000 rand is 100 rand. So each year, for however year, how many years we decide to invest the money, we're going to get 100 rand per the number of years we decided to actually invest the money for. So if I decide to invest that money for 5 years, that means I'm going to get 100 rand times 5, which is 500 500 rand, almost 500 years. But yeah, that was the calculation under simple interest. Now, when we talk about a simple decay or simple depreciation, the same concept still applies, but here the difference is we are talking about depreciation, right? Or we are talking about a decay. And depreciation is actually loss of value, right? And a good example, as soon as you buy, for example, you buy land, and then of course that land you're going to use it for so many different things whatsoever. That land each year it loses value, right? You buy a car as well. That car, right, the moment you resell it to somebody else, the amount is not going to be higher than the initial value you bought it for, right? Because the car also it loses value. So this loss of value is called depreciation. So there's two kinds of them, simple and compound. Now we're still talking about simple. So simple interest was simple decay or simple depreciation. Also it is called a straight line depreciation, right? So here the depreciation happens at the end of the year, of course, and the amount of depreciation is exactly the same throughout the years. So same example, 1000 rand, you bought a I was gonna say you bought a car. Let me just say you bought I don't know, man, you bought a car for 1000 rand. Just an example. You bought a car for 1000 rand and a brand new car, right? Let's just pretend it's back in the days when things used to be cheap. So yeah, you bought a car 1000 rand, and the depreciation percent there is like 10%. So that means the value of the car is gonna depreciate. It is gonna depreciate by 10% each year. So now the 10% we know it to be 100 rand. Therefore, the value of the car is gonna decrease by 100 rand per year, right? So at the end of year one, the value of the car will now be 900. At the end of year two, the value of the car will be 800. And at the end of year five, the value of the car will be how much? 500 rand. So we subtracting the same amount of money each year up until the year. Cool. So now talk about compound depreciation or compound decay, right? Which is also given a name, reducing balance depreciation. Yes, reducing balance depreciation. So for reducing balance depreciation, what happens is, you remember, it's just the same idea as with compound interest, how we spoke about it. But now here you have you buy a car, right? And your car is like 1000 rand. So when you buy a car, at the end of period one, say the depreciation compound depreciation rate was like 10%. So you buy a car. At the end of year one, the value of the car is now worth 900 rand, right? Cool. So now you use the car for whatsoever. Then at the end of year two, we take that 900 rand and we calculate interest from it, which is what, 90 rand, right? So now your car, it will no longer lose value by 100 rand, because now we calculated interest, the new depreciation interest on the, the value of the car at that year. So the value is now valued at 900 rand. 10% of that is actually 90 rand. So at the end of year 2, the value of the car is gonna be worth 900 minus 90 rand, which is 810, right? And then we continue. At the end of year 3, we now calculate the value to be 10% of 810, which is 81 rand. So now at the end of year 3, the value of the car is going to be worth 810 rand minus 81 rand. That value will be the value of the car. So we calculate the value of the car based on, yeah, I don't know how to put this in words, but I have this table here, and it's gonna help me exactly put this in words. So let's work with it. So on this table, you have your car is valued at 72 rand currently. Like right now, it's valued at 72 rand. And here's you and your friend. Your friend's car is gonna depreciate on a straight line depreciation, right? And your car is gonna depreciate on a reducing balance depreciation. Yeah. So now, and say for your friend, maybe the simple interest, let's just make it 10% for both. Alright, so the car depreciates by 10% for both. We're gonna work with this one who's oh, this is you. Okay, let's start with you. You are simple interest, right? So the value of the car at the beginning of the year, it's 72,000 rand. 1, 2, 3, and then the depreciation amount, it's 10% of this, which is what? Which is 7,200. Right, and then the value of the end of the year, it's gonna be how much? 72,000. We are minusing 7,200. You end up with 64,800. Now we go again. So I'm gonna do this. You already know that for simple depreciation, or straight line depreciation, what happens is the amount of depreciation is the same through all our through, yeah, it's the same. So I'm gonna do this, 7. Right, this is all the amount of depreciation amount. It's always gonna be 7,200. So now I'm gonna pause again, and I'm gonna do the subtraction whatsoever. Yeah, cool. I've just done the math. So basically, this is the year at the beginning. We subtract this at the end of the year. This is how much money you have. And then in the beginning of the new year, you have exactly that amount. And then depreciation happens. We minus the same value. This is the value you have of the end. Then the beginning, depreciation, the end, blah, blah, until at year 7, the value of the car would be 21,600 rand. Right. Yeah, that's what it is. So let's now cook further. Okay. Let's focus before we jump onto the compound. Let's focus on simple depreciation. Let's focus on simple depreciation. So you guys are realizing, I want to show you something. I'm gonna take this amount, 72,000, right? And I'm gonna multiply it by 7. No, before I multiply by 7, I want to multiply it by 10%. Then I multiply it by 7. Let us see. 72,000 multiplied by 0.1 multiplied by 7. Now I'm gonna do this. Ne? Realize that this is P interest M. Ne? So now I take let's see. Do you see what just happened? Do you see what just happened? Let me show you what just happened. The money we have here, the amount is the value that we had at the end of year 7. And for us to get that value, we minus this number. And for us to get this number, we did this multiplication. Therefore, this, let's say this is the accumulated amount, the amount at the end of the period, right? That money is actually, because we have here P, right? And then we are subtracting this one. We have P, we are subtracting this one, but this one it's actually P multiplied by interest multiplied by N. Do you see it? Here it is. Therefore, we have P1 minus IN, right? And this, my friend, this right here, né? This is the formula we are going to use. This is the formula we're going to use. This one is our straight line depreciation formula. Oh, it's our simple depreciation formula. But whenever we're talking about simple depreciation, that's your formula right there. We are done with simple interest. All is left is for us to do examples. But before, let's go and cook some compound stuff. So remember, for compound, this is what I said. I said at the beginning of the year, you have. I'm gonna forget about the units, man. We have 72,000 rent, ne? Yeah, the amount of remember I said depreciation is actually 10%. So here 10% of this, it's actually 7,200 rand. The value at the end, we did it 64,800. Now, at the beginning of the year, the value now of the car is worth 64,800. Now 10%, we calculate the depreciation amount, which is 10% of this amount we have. So 10% of this, it's gonna be 6,480. Now we do the math as 64,800 minus 10%, which is 6,480. We are getting 58,320. And then and then we go again on the other side. That's the value at the beginning of the year, 58,320. 10% of this, that is 5,832. What? 5,832. Oh, yes. Ah, yes. So my man is saying, bro, do you try it? Are you sure that's 10%? Do you trust yourself? It is. So now we take this value, we minus that 10%. 32. Cool. The value at the beginning of the year. 10%, that is 5, 2, 4, 8.8. Yeah. Cool. I want to stop here. Now you can continue further, but my illustration I can do it even with just 4 years of investment. So yeah, I'm gonna stop there, and then so now this is of course the value, the value of the car is what am I doing? This right here is the value of the car at the end of year 4, right? After the car has depreciated in value, it has went down in value, right? So now we're gonna do exactly what we did on the side. Let's cook some. Cool, cool. So compound interest is quite interesting, eh? So I want to show you something. I want to show you something. The Cool. So this is what we said, ne? We said what we do is we take the value. You can do the same illustration I'm about to do with exactly these values. I'm not gonna use these values just for the sake of simplicity, ne? Yeah, but the same illustration you can just copycat me. You can copy everything I do, but instead of the letters I'm gonna use, put the values. You have them, these values. Yeah. So compound depreciation, this is what we're saying. We have the initial value of the car, P, right? Currently this is how much what the car is worth, and then what do? We subtract the value that the car depreciates by, right? So how do we calculate that value? That value is calculated by saying that value, for us to calculate it, we will say the value of the car multiplied by the interest, right? And this is exactly the value of the car at the end of the year, right? um we simplify this. You have 1 minus just I, right? We can do that. Let's see, 72,000 rand into 1 minus 0.1, right? It's exactly the value we had at the end of year 1, right? Cool. So now I'm gonna say let P into 1 minus I be K, right? So now I'm gonna take that amount K. I'm gonna take K as the new value of the car, and at the end of year 2 we have to depreciate it further. So we're gonna take K and we minus the interest. So we calculate the interest on K. So it's K multiplied by the interest. Now you see that here you have K into 1 minus the interest, right? Which when you substitute K, you have, remember K is P, so you have P into 1 minus I, then 1 minus I of the one we have here. So you have P into 1 minus I squared. And let's test it, né? Let's test it. We go here. Remember this was P, which is 72,000, 1 minus our interest, right? Yeah, so now I'm gonna say to the power of 2. Look at the value we have, 58,320. You guys still follow? Last illustration before we go to solve some problems. Now I say let P1 minus I squared be M, right? So now I take my M, right? I take my M, which is the new value of the car, and I minus the value of its depreciation or depreciation amount, which is M times interest, right? I do my simplification. That's M into 1 minus I. So I resubstitute what M is. M is P into 1 minus I squared. Then I have I minus Y minus I. So it's P 1 minus I to the power of 3, and then if there I put on 3, I get 52,400 then, right? And do you guys see it? It makes sense, né? So from here we can conclude that actually A is what? It's P into 1 minus I, right? Here you have N. That is what P is, all right? So this is just a simple derivation of these formulas, where they come from, and I'm very happy to show you guys where they come from. So now we're going to make an application of this formula, solve some problems. Let's go. So okay. So a business buys a truck by 560,000 rand. Over a period of 10 years, the value of the truck depreciates to zero. Damn! Wow. Wow. Hey, not just a big wow. Um, okay. Okay. Oh, using a simple, or using okay, let me do this one. Using the straight line method. Straight line, remember, simple, yes. What is the value of the truck after 8 years? This was a really good example. This was a very interesting example. Remember this, né? So we have the formula A equals to P into 1, come on bro, 1 minus I, right? And these people, they do not, I want to show you something. They do not give us the value. Oh, this is beautiful. These people, they do not give us the value of interest rate, right? So but then they just tell us that the value at the end of the year is gonna be 0, right? So now what do we do, ne? You take what do we do now? Look at this. If you put 560k here, and then you put no. If you put 0 here, and then you put 560k, right? Blah 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 1 minus I, you're gonna get exactly how much. This is gonna cancel out. This is gonna be 0, so you will have 0 equals to 1 minus I, and then I then becomes what? I becomes 1, meaning your interest rate was 100%, right? Oh no. There is a very important factor which I left out. N was quite very important, and I left it out. Né? So yeah, N was quite important and I left out. So it's 0, the amount at the year end, 560. I'm gonna say K 1 minus I 10. So when you divide by this, both sides, you get 0, 1, 10I. Then 10I equals to 1. Then I equals to 1 over 10. Right, which is, I think, 0.1. Yeah, I think it's 0.1. Alright, so we can do this and say, let us just check it out. 550,000 rand into 1 minus 0.1 times 10. We get exactly 0. Do you understand? So now we have our interest, and the question they ask is, what will be the value of the car at the end, after the end of 8 years? All right, so we use the same formula. Yes, so we do the substitution here. 560,000 minus 0.1 times 8, which is after the end of 8 years. So the value of the car debt, it will be this much. You see? Yeah. Yeah, no, the question almost blew me off. Like, yeah. So when yeah, there was a reaction I did. I remember that formula. I remember the formula we used on the previous video. Oh, yeah, that formula. Um, this one, cause in my okay. Let me just erase this then. Oh, maybe let me actually erase this. Oh my God, what did I do? Okay. um. Yeah. So you see, usually during depreciation, we will say the principal amount minus the principal amount times I times n, right? When they told me this is how we calculate, basically when they say that the value of this thing at the end of the year will be zero, I thought we could use this formula and say zero, which is, it's kind of the same thing, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same thing. Then you have your 550 there, 550k, and then the side you still have your 560k actually, times 10 times 8. I understand, times I, and then you just do your math right here. 560k, 560k, and then, oh, don't forget the 10, don't forget the 10. So this cancels, don't forget the 10, this cancels. Then you have your I being equals to this, cancels this. Then you have 1 over 10. This is what I thought, and it works. So be open-minded about this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, 7 years ago, Rocco's drum kit, it cost him 12,500, and now it's valued at 2,300. What is the rate of simple interest? Yeah, simple depreciation. Okay, so for this one, you already see formula, substitution, 7 years ago, so times 7. Right, so okay, okay, I think I'm gonna love this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna love this because here's what I love. Before substitution, you identify, we're calculating for this. Yeah? So since this is what we are trying to find, this is what we are trying to find, you say A over P equals to 1 minus I n, and then you have A over P, no. So now you're going to have in, we are transposing 1, we have 1 minus A over P, right? And then we divide by n or multiply by 1 over n all over. Then we have I equals to 1 over n minus A over Pn, right? And now we can do our substitution to say it's 1 over 7 minus A, which is 3,200, over multiply by 7. No. Here I just swapped these values. Is 2, 3. Damn. Damn. 2,300 divided by 1,000 times 7. So the value we are getting is 0.116 57, which is 11.66%. Yeah. So now, cool. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take the value, right? And then I want to see how much we're getting. 7 times 0.1166, right? It's quite close. It's quite close. Yeah, just 3. Okay, let me write it as full. Let me write it as full to say 6, 5, 7. Okay. You guys saw what happened there. Yeah, so when I put this whole number without rounding it up or down, whatever, I'm getting exactly 2,300. Yeah, you see, so me, I'm happy when I'm seeing this. It's a confirmation what we're doing is cool, and this is how you verify your answers as well quickly. So yeah, okay. The number of ah the number of cormorants. Hey, what is that? The number of cormorants at Amanzitoti River. Where did I take this? Yeah. I don't know if that's Zulu or Xhosa, but okay. Focus. The number of the cormorants at the Amanzi Mtodi River. Okay. The number of, yeah, I'm guessing the number of those things at this particular river, they are decreasing at a compound interest rate of 8% per annum. If there are now currently right now there are 10 of those things, how many will there be in 18 years time? Right, we are just simply calculating value of a here. So because now we have 10,000 and we're trying to find out in 18 years time, after 18 years, how many will be there if they're decreasing at this value, right? So yeah, it's first and first formula, right? Substitution. $18 and then calculation. Okay, so after 18 years there will be 2,229.36 of cormorants. You see, yeah. The population the population of Bonduel decreases at the reducing balance rate of 9.5% per annum as people migrate to cities, of course. Cool. Calculate the decrease in the population over a 5-year period. if the initial population was right. So now we're not calculating A, but we're calculating the, the decrease in population. Cool. So, but we will start with A, of course, because now we have the initial population, we have the reducing balance rate, we have years, which is like over a period of 5 years. So calculation. Yeah, let me just leave it like this. Because now we're talking about like people, I'm assuming. So, yeah. Yes, we're talking about people like us. Yeah. So now to calculate the decrease in population, you will say just um, P minus A, which is 2 meter minus 1 meter. Let me just say here, decrease in population, right? So this is, yeah, how many people would have left after 5 years if the reducing balance rate is 9.5. Yeah, let's see this one. Let's say the cost of a machine. Yeah. Okay, the cost a machine, it cost that much, 45k, and has a scrap value of 9,000 after 10 years. So that's how much it costed initially, 45, and now after 10 years it's 9,000. Determine the annual rate of depreciation calculated at the reducing balance method. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna derive the formula first, to not make things a bit messy. We are calculating the I. Let me continue the side. So I'm gonna transpose the other. So I is gonna be yes, that side and then this side. Yeah, now I substitute. Here people can confuse the value of A and P. I remember here it's the value of A is always lower than the value of P when we're talking about depreciation. 1 minus. Okay, now the value is right. That's the value of I, which you can write it as percentage form to say it's 8.7. I wanna say percent. Yeah, you can test it out to see. Um, yeah. So yeah, so that is simple and compound decay, right, or straight line and reducing balance depreciation. Very cool, very cool. Let's see each other on the next video.